Good evening. We're back again to the story of Caius, the fine, indeed the finest, courier, spellsword, mercenary, members of the Fighters Guild, member of the Mages Guild, and eternal champion of Tamriel. I must apologize for what I believe was last week's episode where the audio quality was quite atrocious, but I did not realize it until long after the recording. So while it is possible for me to try and re-record it, I also think I'm at a point where if I have to redo another 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, I may not actually finish this. So we'll carry on with the improved quality moving forward. And apparently I left myself with the option of doing some more Mages Guild quests, which is exactly what I plan on doing now. I thought I had a quest. Let's try this one. Now, I thought I had done this.
Okay, once again you astonish me with your skill and efficiency, Caius. An excellent job. The king will be pleased as I am. Here is the helm I promised. Enjoy it.
Ah yes, this delight. Just put it in the wagon. Alright, well this is an inauspicious start, but we'll keep going with it. At this point, I'm just trying to find out whether or not I actually have that helm in my inventory. I need to find something to do with all of this or just get rid of it. Alright, more importantly, am I able to move on? Alright. So we're gonna say the save is not correct for whatever reason. I'm gonna get my reward and then we'll figure out what to do after. It's because of the gold. truly mystified at this point. So here's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take any magic items. I will identify or sell them. And I promise this is the last time I'm going to be going through this inventory like this at the start of the cast. This one I want to keep. When I get a new quest, I'll take the time to go by a pawn shop just to try and sell some of this. This sort of thing should be an easy sell and generate some money. I'm sure there is a way to generate potions, but until I visit it, I'm just gonna have an inventory full of rotting Daedra hearts and dragon scales. Also, I have no idea what it's going to be like to actually try and combine these ingredients. All right.
The people of Daggerfall have been demanding that the Mages Guild take a stand against the mad wizard who has been terrorizing the land for some time now. Now, by order of the Archmagister himself, we are doing just that. I know it's hardly an assignment for a scholarly institution to give, but would you be willing to pay the mad wizard a call and hack him to pieces?
I will.
Excellent. I knew that you would not let us down, Caius. Now then, Duncter Woodhouse will be in his laboratory, the fortress of Garrismith, for at most 28 days before moving to a new location. The king wants word that the mage is dead in 28 days, so do not tarry after doing the deed. I will see you in 28 days. Thank you, and good luck, Caius.
This may be the mission that we just did, but I'll work with what I've got. So apparently there's a difference between clicking remove and oh, wait a minute, I don't think there's a pawn shop here. Okay, well, with that in mind. Take a quick trip to Daggerfall before we go too far just to sell. So this should be a pawnbroker's fairly close to this entrance. High fantasy standing outside of a store waiting for it to open.
Shop is laid out in practical and straightforward manner. All of the items seem to be of adequate construction.
Okay, apparently I've been carrying the wrong item the whole time.
I'll give the price I normally offer to my closest friends and family. The market value of that is much less, but I think I can give you 4,662 gold.
Alright, as much as I would love to do some training, I'm gonna head to the bank. And we'll deal with our quest first. I need to find myself a nice house at some point, but I don't quite have $1 million yet, so more of an aspirational purchase at this point. Although I'm willing to bet I could successfully rob the bank. The impenetrable fortress with no entrance. Well, we're off to a good start. So it seems like ghosts are becoming a bigger factor, which is going to be a problem because I really do not have a good way of handling paralysis. I do have a spell to cancel it, but unfortunately it costs too much mana. It will never see me. Ah! Usually this sort of stuff is pretty heavy. It's a bit harder for me to justify. But we'll work with it for now. Again, the aim on this one is just to find the wizard. Although traditionally it's normally in the last spot we look, so another thing that I need to keep in mind is other than the wear and tear on my gear, it's actually desirable to take a few hits. And this is because I'm able to use my healing spells, which means that I level that skill up, which means that I get a level for my character as well as a higher rank in the Mages Guild. Well then. Apparently that staircase is defended by a machine gun. I'm still not entirely sure how you're supposed to get around that particular trouble that seems to be constant for all of the dungeons. Dungeons of this shape, that this always has a trap on it. The fewer ghosts I need to deal with, the happier I'll be. I'm pretty happy with the payouts from the bodies, though. So, again, my guess here is as soon as I step on this thing, I start taking damage. I like chances to heal myself, but not that much. which, I mean, I'm making some guesses here, but apparently it doesn't matter which skill you use so long as it's in the class. So, Polenia's Bomb or Heal will apparently have the same. That sucks. Apparently they will both have the same effect, even though one is a higher skill ability than the other. So what if you lose your nerve going on this one, you just don't get it again? Alright. Well, that was worth it. I think this might be trapped as well. Apparently not. I might already have that book, but I'm not 100% sure. Alright, I believe that takes me back to where I was before. And it also eliminates some possibilities for investigation, so that makes me happy. Do I have a cure poison? Alright. Other than the snarling, that is the sneakiest werewolf I've ever encountered. And apparently there's another one of these traps are ridiculous, but also very amusing. Oh, am I not sitting on the right spot? Pretty sure this thing opens. You can see the seam in the texture. Anyways. Should take the opportunity now to lighten my load. It's all money. Alright, now that's a bit perplexing because oh, crap. And this is a little perplexing because if there's... Wait a minute. Nope, that's the entrance, never mind. If there's no way forward in here... And this is isolated. And that basically means the area with the tower is where sort of the bulk of the dungeon is. But we did just sort of look through all the main passages. Also, it's hidden. This is one of the most frustrating parts about this game. The whole main area of the dungeon is hidden behind a secret door. Oh, hello. Got 5,000 from just punching bad guys in this dungeon. And our first bit of ebony gear, although I don't believe it's an upgrade for me. Yeah, very much not an upgrade. Excuse me. We're bored. Nice. Pretty sure my levitate already took care of that, but oh, I'm almost certain that's my target. Curse is foiled again. Levitate would be helpful here. I'm sure there's some way of moving. Moving up. Why would they do this? Alright, this is going to be the silliest solution to this problem, but... he vanished. You're in big trouble when I come back. Actually, I don't think... yeah, it says 0. That's so strange. So apparently the target was here a minute ago and then he vanished. Stop that. Okay, well, while I'm at it, I'm going to take a quick moment and see if I can find my target again. Or I could be wrong. I'm actually going to take... I've already got a save, so... I want to see... Okay, apparently that was where the target was. And now he's gone. There it is. Yeah, so the game is apparently that frustrating. How a non-magic user gets there, I'm not 100% sure. Alright, let's make sure the guy's there. He is. Getting a rest up so I can get my levitate back.
You dream of the moon,
What?
of a man who is less than a man.
Oh, no, you know what? I might have done something wrong there. I wanted to see if resting would fix it. I think I might have been hit by the werewolf. I have a feeling when I rest again, I'm not going to get that triggered trap. I wanted to see if that was a story thing. That was bad. Sorry about that. This game. I suppose I could have just let it hit me and then, we'll try that again. But first things first. Okay. This is insane. watch if it worked. At some point I'm going to need to figure out how to get my way back to the entrance after this. Alright, not enough spell points now. This'll be fun.
You've slain Dunctor Woodhouse, the mad wizard of the fortress of Garesmith.
Alright, there's also a useful little bit of info that I just got out of this, which is less obvious. I also know what ebony and adamantium look like now. And this is why I saved. Although while I'm at it. Alright, free action. I'm going to keep that in mind. Oh, but the spell is too much. Alright, basically I need to find my way back up now. Alright, this is a little bit of a trickier one. No, but I think this will take me back to where I need to go. Ebony and iron is a little tricky to find out the difference between. I think it's the fact that it's dark along the edge. Alright, now that didn't quite go as planned. In a pinch, I can jump down a level. But I'll see if I can find a better way through this. Ah, damn it. That didn't help me. What? Oh, I'm trying to pickpocket. Okay, this is slightly amazing. I'm just gonna keep picking the ghost pocket until I'm done. J should have been the right one. Anyways, I don't know if that'll actually get me back to where I need to go, but it seems to be the best bet. Okay, this might go very badly for me. Yeah, that's a lich. Oh god, run for your lives! Run for your lives! Something 99 problems. Alright. It's not clear how these two chambers connect to each other other than me dropping from a height. At the moment, though, I am making some money off of this, so I'll work with it. I don't really want to drop the ebony yet. Sure, I've been down this stairwell already. Yep. Not even trying at this point. And that's the game. Thank you everybody for watching. It's going to take a minute to sync the cloud saves. It's always a little bit awkward. I might be able to just cancel the sync. Yeah, let's give it a shot. I'll want the local ones anyway. Alright. I'm tempted just to drop down the spot that I need to at this point. sure there's some combination of levers that makes all the puzzle pieces fit together, but I could not possibly be any less interested in figuring that out. Wasn't sure if it was an invisible enemy or it was just the ghost opening that door. Okay, we're gonna head up and I will just jump over the edge when I get a chance. Alright, so I believe... Well, hang on, let's see what we've got here first. Alright, so we, oh. And then I forget exactly where. I only half remember where the entrance is. Okay, so there's the entrance. So I need to get to this tower. And avoid these stairs if I can. There we go, we found the exit without needing to cheat. I feel very accomplished. Yes. Now I'm going to try and sneak in a little bit of healing. So, just to give you an example, I got 53 in restoration right now. Still 53. But yeah, I'm gonna just try and take any opportunity I can to cast the spell. Alright, Daggerfall. feel a little bit bad that I didn't have the opportunity to, I didn't realize that that animation was about, I'm assuming it was a werewolf thing, and that would have been an interesting problem to deal with. So I do feel a little bit bad for, restarting. What I was trying to do is just to trigger it again, because I was going to be going after the target, but because I didn't save the before and after, the fact that it was there it is. The fact that it was on one-off and I didn't have the trigger prevented me from being able to do that. I think I should take a visit to the bank first. I'm sure we'll have other opportunities to turn into a werewolf or a vampire. I'm just going to do a little bit of training, so I wanted to leave myself the 1,000. Alright, hopefully the next task is not going to involve killing mad wizards in dungeons.
Once again, you astonish me with your skill and efficiency, Caius. An excellent job. The king will be as pleased as I am. Here is the left pauldron that I promised. Enjoy it. Yeah, I had work, but the situation has resolved itself. Thanks anyway.
Why include that as an option? Might as well identify the item as well. I'm just curious if that'll help me with the paralysis. again, it would be wonderful to equip, but it won't let me.
Recipes are a daft business, Magician. I am working on a formula that calls for a goodly piece of Garius. What is a Garius? An herb? A mineral? Well, I've researched the matter and found that Garius is a mummy. Imagine that. And this particular mummy is right here in Daggerfall. Could I talk you into going into its tomb and grabbing a piece of Garius for, say, 561 gold pieces?
Sure. You know how much I love dungeons.
Jolly good, Magician. It'll be worth 561 to you. Now, the mummy's tomb is not too far away at all, and so it shouldn't take you any longer than 9 days to get there. Make your grab and get back. Remember, it's got to be fresh, preferably off its body. The name of the place is something like Argrin Prison. It's sure to be gruesome there. You might want to bring a sword or some such thing. Well, good luck, young Dark Elf.
So I am mildly curious if I can actually steal it off the mummy without killing it. Still won't let me loot shelves. It's fairly well kept for being a dungeon. Every time I hear water, I am sad. I'm actually remembering to use this now. I don't remember you being here. That's my weapons taken care of. Oh wow, actually it's lower top. That doesn't make any sense. Let me bring up the manual because I thought Daikatanas were supposed to be the highest damage. Alright, so Daikatana's base damage of 3 to 21. Claymores are 2 to 18, and they're quite a bit heavier. is actually the highest. So goes Adamantium, Ebony, Orcish, Daedric. Daedric is actually the highest level. Interesting. So yeah, I should be looking for a Daedric Daikatana. Alright, still a good find, but that's gonna be my secondary weapon. Alright, I always hate these portals. Wow! Okay, so my light reaction potion spell is a pretty useful one. This game would be like on the high reflex option. I survived. Bob, where are you? Nightblade. That's terrifying. Okay, these are both new books for me. That's so reassuring to know that enemies are nearby. That's a shame. Statues are good for money, but now that I know that Daedric is the best weapon type, it's nice to have some good backups. try a similar trick and just rest long enough to get some points for my healing spells. There's some remarkably good loot in these dungeons. I hate it when it does this. Again, I'm gonna do my best to see if I can just steal the, That's surprising. Oh, hang on. I found my bearings again. I'm gonna do my best just to see if I can steal the, material off the mummy rather than kill it. But I have a feeling it's not going to voluntarily give it up. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I am going to orc strength that. A backup Daedric Claymore. I suppose I should just load up on whatever I can find, but the only thing about two Daedric Claymores is that they take up a lot of inventory space, so I think I'll do the Ebony Daikatana for the weight, and the Claymore will just stay on the wagon. If I can get a Daedric Daikatana, that's going to be amazing. I think this game might have some balance issues. Yeah, so 1324, 1430, 1129, 1.75 kilograms versus 9.25 kilograms. So I will keep it on the I will keep it on the wagon. Sounds like a lot of people want me dead. And apparently I'm full circle now. That's not bad. That'll just give me a chance to go back and investigate the other hallways. Apparently I got this wrong. So glad we did this. If the mummy's underwater, I'm gonna be upset. It's looking like it. Okay, so as usual, here's what I'm gonna do. Save just to make sure I haven't done anything outrageous. Okay, I'm apparently on top of something. There's definitely unexamined regions. Whether or not I can access them without going through the water is another question. Yeah, that's almost certainly the mummy. So that was what I needed. Let's see if I can find out where that was. Actually, while I'm at it, I should probably just pick up the item. Of course. Alright, yeah, this is another one of these cases where I'm sure there's a teleporter that goes here, but oh, this is gonna be brutal. So I actually need to find a way of getting to whatever that thing is. Okay, apparently there's no. There's no way for me to rest up. Alright, well, there's an easy answer for that. Why am I playing this game again? I forgot to heal, didn't I? Oh boy. Once more with feeling. So apparently I can't steal the mummy bits off of him.
You find the wrappings that Mordenak Woodfield wanted you to get from Garius.
While I have the strength, I'm just going to heal up and then loot whatever I can. Normally this is where I would want to use the recall spell, but let's see if we can find out what else we have in this area. Yeah, well, that was easy.
Today is the 16th of Sun's Dawn, a holiday celebrated all over Tamriel as Heart's Day. It seems that in every house, the legend of the lovers is being sung for the younger generation. In honor of these lovers, Polydor and Eloisa, the inns of the town offer a free room for visitors. If such kindness had been given to the lovers, it is said that it would always be springtime in the world.
6 a.m. It's a little early for me to get a room. Restoration still 53. I suppose if it came right down to it, I could just head to any dungeons that I wanted and loot those, but it seems to me that there's an advantage to making the Mage's Guild like me more. I could, of course, also try the Fighter's Guild. I need to make a quick trip to the bathroom and to refill my water, so I'm just gonna let this timer run down. I'll let you watch the activities of the town. I'll be back as soon as I can. It shouldn't take too long. Taken a look and seen what the time difference was. Hang outside the bank, looking completely inconspicuous for an hour.
The Memory Stone by Michaela Leckie. This is a faithful reproduction of the thoughts recorded in Michaela Leckie's Memory Stone, found in the Bancori Pass in the year of Reckoning, First Era 973, 7 years before the fall of Orsinium due to the combined efforts of the armies of Daggerfall, Sentinel, and the Order of Diagana. Almost all of this is in the first person, as Michaela was unfamiliar with the protocols and scholarly formalities of recording herself into a memory stone. Nonetheless, her heroism and heroic deeds live on, her memories fresh in the stone for all to feel and hear. I wonder if this will really work. The Mages Guild took me for 25,000 gold crowns if it doesn't. Imagine. This stone will record my thoughts? What did they say? Just unwrap it from the silver foil and leather bag as soon as it touches my flesh, it will begin to record. Ah! Pain! I must block it out. No one would want to hold my stone and hear my thoughts if I let it record my pain. Thanks to Ebenarm and the training I received in the Hall of the Virtues of War, I can block out this pain. There, it's walled off. Yes, I can see it there just beyond my consciousness, lurking like a hungry wolf. A wolf that will soon consume me. See also my inevitable death from these damned wounds. No potions left, the healing crystal in the ring are used up, and me, with not enough magic to light a candle. Oh, but the gods did give me other gifts. The gift of sword singing, the thrill of battle, Frandar, Hunding's Book of Circles, the way of the sword. But then that is my story. I get ahead of myself. I am Michaela Leckie, a warrior, a sword singer, a second-level Anezai. In my cradle, I could form the Shihai, the spirit sword, the mystical blade. Mine formed of pure thought, serpents intertwined with the vines of roses to form the blade, as beautiful as... But I'm about to tell you all that. To tell you my story, a story of valiant battle, of my loves, of my wars, of betrayal, and of the last glorious victory. To tell you how I came to this distant lonely pass, me and my 5 companions, to fight these men and monsters to defeat the army that would fall on my people like cowards in the night. But again, I get ahead of myself. I am a simple warrior. I grew up as a maiden of the Spirit Blade. As early as I can remember, I wanted to be a singer, to feel the hunger of the blade in my hands, to feel it come alive and take my enemies. I am told our people were artisans and poets long ago in our desert homes. Here, in the new home known as Hammerfell, many of us have returned to the ancient ways, but to me there is only one way, the way of the sword. This is hard to tell. I grew up in my noble family, the only one of 3 brothers and 2 sisters that felt the calling. The song of the sword. Father understood, for he too had felt the call. He had become a master and Ansei long before settling down within our estate to raise a family. At 11, I entered the Hall of Virtues of War and joined the Maidens of the Spirit Sword. In my band, there were 6 of us. Daring Julia, Solid Patia, Big Katie, Svelte Siglia, Wise Zell, and me. All gone now, save me, and soon I will join them in the halls of the unknown gods of war. We drank together, we fought, we wept, we grew in the way of the sword. We joined in our learnings in the hall with our brothers of the blade. Learning from each other, we sat at the feet of the Hallmaster, striving to learn the depths of the Shihai, making the Spirit Blade into the real weapon as Frandar Hunding had. Only a few have had the purity of heart and virtue to be able to take the step to, and learn the mysteries of Ansei, sword sainthood. Somehow, of all of the brothers and maidens, I only possessed the unique qualities, the faint but strong enough flicker of magicka to call forth the Shihai. Many times I called it. Seldom would it become substantial enough to be a weapon. To be an Ansei of the first level, you need to be able to call it, and that I could, so I became the first Ansei from our local hall in 2 generations. I have so much to tell, so many memories, so many treasures to share with you, my unknown companion. How do I start? The pain is still out there lurking hungry, slowly consuming what's left of me. I guess I'd better tell of the final battle, the one that has left me here, and then, if I have the will left to tell you of my life, of my love, Raelif. Oh, what a lad he was. What times we shared, Ebenarm. Forgive me, my mind wanders. Let me go to the final battle. To start, in the middle. Yes, we maidens grew, learned, mastered the way, and upon completing the walkabout... to you who are not singers, this is a wilderness trek, emulating the times of Frandar Hunding, where we each wander the countryside, righting wrongs, defeating monsters, performing quests in the name of virtue. Some of us in our hall took years to finish. Anyways, there is danger. We 6 maidens each returned in our own good time, but many are they who do not live to return from the walkabout. We returned, each to our own lives, to meet in the hall once a week to tell our stories to the new maidens and brothers, and to perform as instructors in the way of the sword. All was well till the night of the mid-year festival. All our people were reveling and, enjoying the repas. But for we 6 maidens. It happened that the festival day fell on our day of meeting in the hall, our day of prayer and fasting in honor of the way of the sword. As we met late into the night, a knocking rang on our door. When I opened it, there was a guardian in the Bancore Pass in the Rothgarian Mountains, wounded and near death. He told us of betrayal from the north, an invasion sponsored by the Crystal Tower of High Rock, led by King Joil of Daggerfall, our ally in the war with Orsinium. Quickly, we used up a crystal of healing in restoring him to vitality. We sent him to the king, while we 6 grabbed our weapons and armor of power, and as many potions, marks, and crystals and rings as we could carry. We flew to the past, hoping upon hope that we would not be too late. Our journey was not in vain, for we arrived at the very point where the last 3 guardians were overwhelmed by the horde. Into the past we ran, forming the old battle line, 6 abreast. Oh, did we fight! The song of the sword was a joyous noise slicing through the ranks of evil. We fought for hours. Julia was the first to fall, a cowardly poisoned dagger finding a rent in her armor. And then one by one we all fell, save me. Oh, cruel Ebenarm. Then my beloved sword, the sword of my father, the one with the serpent's crest fashioned by the master swordsmith singer Tansal, broke in my hands. All was lost, our 6 lives spent in vain. Now, many of them would pour through the pass. I would be easy prey for them, like a newborn child. I wept in frustration. Then I remembered the hearth in our home, the book, Friend Arhounding's Book of Circles, the Way of Strategy. I reached for the the spirit sword, that which I could never reliably form when I needed it, and behold, it was alive. Alive with fire, it formed in my hand, ablaze with power. Oh, I slew mightily, right and left like a scythe through wheat. All the way to the Lord of the Tower I fought. With one blow I cut his magical armor asunder, one more took his head. But to do that deed cost me dearly, wounds by the dozen, for although I had magical armor, it was not formed of spirit like my blade. It was not as invincible as my blade, or my own spirit, and I was sorely wounded. With the felling of King Joily, his army crumbled. They fled before my wrath, all back through the pass, and not even pausing to collect their dead and wounded. All who could stand ran for their lives, and I slew all that I could reach. But my breath was coming short, and the pain. Finally I rested, on this rock where you find me now. I don't know why I chanced to bring this stone along. I brought it on a whim, really, with the loot from... Well, I guess I need to really stop and tell my story in order. I feel able to go on to tell you more. The eternal night is descending more slowly than I thought. Not just yet. I'm ready to compose my death poem. A little sip of water and... Well, I think I'll go back and tell you of my life. Maybe some details about the battle and... Oh yes, about Raelif and our children. Where will I start? I'm a simple warrior. I grew up as a maiden of the Spirit Blade, as early as I can remember.
I'll take a minute and see if I've got that biography of Baron Saya. So I'll sell the 3rd volume when I get a chance. Excuse me. we still have some time before the guilds open. We'll see if there's some the general store might have something, or might have some interest in the weapons. Actually, while I'm at it, and keeping the Dwarven Daikatana because it's the first one that I found.
There's not a big market for those, but I can sell it. I'll give you 13,787 gold pieces. Perfectly fair price.
I think I'm gonna have to go back to the bank. But while I'm at it, I'm gonna head north just to take a look at a couple of the other stores and see if they want to buy some of the other special items I have. Also, while I'm at it, I should be looking at I just want to make sure my gear's in order.
Listen, I will offer you the absolute maximum I can without losing my shirt. Here is 4,229 gold. Take it and tell all your friends that you cheated me.
I don't think there's going to be anything I can buy, but let's take a quick look. That was a superior weaponry I meant to go to. Again, it's pretty unlikely that any of these will wind up being upgrades, but it doesn't hurt to take a look.
Imagine the purity of my delight when the sniveling, cheating lover of the past 2 years was abducted and presumably killed. Then imagine my despair when I discovered that the well-to-do merchant was still among the living. Next, imagine my amusement when his kidnappers demanded a ransom. Finally, please imagine my annoyance when his cousin actually agreed to pay the ransom. This cannot be. I need someone to make certain that the ransoming fails. Will you help me?
I will not.
Mother of Ice, what an attitude. Your selfish morality will get you in trouble someday.
Nothing to sell him, fair enough. It's fairly unlikely I'm going to be able to sell them anything, but we'll give it a shot. Once upon a time, I would have been excited about some of this stuff. I remember I took out a loan so that I could buy that Daedric Claymore. Alright, back to the bank. Just in case there's a crash. And now I wait a couple hours. I really need to remember to get off the horse.
Now that is a lovely piece of wrapping. Thanks awfully. I believe we agreed on 561 gold pieces, yes?
As always, training, then other considerations. I'm so bad at this.
That lousy someone has been spreading rumors that I need help. I don't need help in anything. It's a very great honor, my dear Caius, to be selected to aid the famous Grandard Yomton, who I trust you have heard of before. He has specifically asked for you to guard him while he sleeps. Obviously, a mage of such standing has enemies jealous of his enormous power. I trust you'll accept this honor?
Why not?
As I expected, Gondard Yomton is just beginning his 3-hour trance. You must guard the Mages Guild during that time and protect him while he is vulnerable. At the end of his trance, he will be transported to the Aetherias. Once he is safe, the guild will send someone with your reward.
I should have saved.
Stand aside, apprentice whelp. We mean to cut down Gondrod Yomton before he can awaken. Move, or you'll be cut down too.
I put that up? Yes, I'm going to take the time to do this now. This isn't actually doing it in the order it's supposed to. Oh, maybe it is. So water walking should be below. I just have duplicates of some. Oh, okay. I'm too impatient. Cool gear. I could actually probably sell all of that. Yeah, hang on. I'm close enough to a merchant that I can probably sell some of this stuff pretty quick. That's fair. I'm almost certainly not going to be able to carry the reward either. So, just in case.
A young woman with deep blue robes bows before you. The guild sends its compliments on a job well done. Gondard Yomton is most grateful. Here is the right pauldron he promised. The people of Daggerfall have been demanding that the Mages Guild take a stand against the mad wizard who has been terrorizing the land for some time now. Now, by order of the Archmagister himself, we are going to do just that. I know it's hardly the assignment for a scholarly institution should give, but would you be willing and able to pay the mad wizard a call and then hack him to pieces?
Well, I have done this like 3 times in a row, but sure.
Excellent. I knew that you would not let us down, Caius. Now then, Tristric Buckinghouse will be in his laboratory, the citadel of Yomcroft, for at most 7 days before moving on to a new location. The king wants word that the mage is dead in 7 days, so do not tarry after doing the deed. I will see you in 7 days. Thank you and good luck, Caius.
Oh no. I'm probably not going to be able to sell my stuff now. I guess we can put it in the wagon. Actually, you know what? It makes more sense to put it in the wagon. That way I'm not carrying the, That way I'm not carrying the gold for the extra weight. Oh, I forgot to identify this too. Oh well. There is an entrance somewhere here, right? I actually like it when the dungeons look like this, but there's that one minor issue of actually needing to be able to enter. That's a hard target. For all the quests I've been doing, you'd think I wouldn't be hated at this point. The plot a little bit in terms of how I wanted to explore this place, but we'll work with what we've got. Definitely doing well for money, although obviously now that I know the Daedric Claymore is one of the best weapons I can get, it's a little hard to see how money helps me. Especially because I don't have the ability to train in abilities anymore. That we haven't had any story elements come up. It's not obvious from the log where I go next. Although there were some places mentioned in the dialogue. always just a weird shaped room. And it either crashes the game or it doesn't do anything. There's also something mildly depressing about knowing that my character's in reasonably good shape, and I'm just gonna have to reload a bunch of times when fighting the target. Sleep well tonight, friends. Cool. What? Why? That's so stupid. It's a door, but nobody bothered to check if you could fit. Alright, there we go. Now I'm gonna just have a terrible time getting out of it. There we go. Oh no. Oh wow, this is it. This is really stuck. Okay. Well.
You've slain Tristric Buckinghouse, the mad wizard of the Citadel of Yomcroft.
Guess I should save this at K. So I didn't really want to do that teleport, but I didn't exactly have any options. Fine. just to use my healing spells. Plus I'm making a bit of money. Alright, now this is a bit of a dilemma because apparently there's no way out of here. Oh, that's apparently not true. Okay, am I missing something? Nope. Apparently I need to levitate. Speaking of backstabbing. So now what I'm curious about, we needed to get here to take out the target. I have no idea how that was supposed to work. Oh Jesus, this isn't even the right spot. Does this tie into anything I've explored? Nope. Don't stop the levitation just yet. I see. Alright. That makes a little more sense now. I just want to see if I can remember how to get back. Survey says no. I think I'm gonna try here first. So oh, damn it. I think this is going to be a bit tricky in terms of finding my way out. Okay, presumably I've been down there before. One way or the other, I really don't want to find out by dropping. I am ostensibly looking for the entrance, but obviously I'm kind of running around. Because I still have inventory space. Again, always happy to take the gold. Alright. Now it makes things a little more difficult to justify running around. So let's see if we can trace our way back to the entrance from here. One thing I should say I'm a little self-conscious of right now is that I have a broadcast to start in about 18 minutes. So if I can't find an easy solution, I am going to reload and teleport to the entrance. This is too far down to be the entrance, but I could be wrong. Yep, I am very wrong. Alright. most of the specialist shops are 9 o'clock starts. Nice.
Maybe you can get more than 13,242 gold for that somewhere, but it's a fair price. That's my only offer.
I think I can live with that. This is actually why the Defend the Mage is a pretty good quest, because essentially all the enemies come to you, and you're in a spot where you can identify and sell the items pretty quickly in most cases. Just get out so we can turn it in, and then we'll call it an evening.
Scholar's Guide to Nymphs by Vondam Beres. A Scholar's Guide to Nymph. I grew up a scholar, an ascetic devoted to knowledge, with eyes that saw beauty in a fascinating passage in a dusty tome, love in the candle that allowed me to study on starless nights, passion in a well-reasoned argument for a long-dead issue. I was a student who never graduated and was never expelled. Though I am not defending myself, I should further define myself. I am not what you would call a prude. In fact, I can speak of subjects in a detached way that would make the most debauched strumpet in Skyhawk blush with discovered modesty. I wrote an essay, The House of Debella as a scholar should, analyzing the cult of beauty and physical relations as one might study crop rotation or the digestive system of an orc. The acquaintances of mine who were inclined to wink and giggle I tolerated, but barely. With all that said, the reader will understand that when I decided to study the language of the nymphs in order to study their character and culture, it was not a decision I made on account of prurience or lust. Scholars have historically neglected the nymph as a subject of worthy research, and this neglect I attribute to prejudice. The sages with whom I have spoken on the subject have eloquently and intelligently formed sentences which, boiled down, can be translated as, "Nymphs look like beautiful naked women who skip along, tra-la-la, and like to have indiscriminate sex. What could they have to say that would be of any interest?" So here I was faced with the most daunting of projects. To study and research a species unstudied is a potentially rewarding challenge. If the subject was unstudied because the scientific community had deemed it beneath interest, a potentially rewarding but decidedly frustrating challenge. If I spent months in serious study of their language and culture and additional time in their company and discovered nothing more than what was common prejudice is correct, the term laughingstock would not do me justice. So excited and nervous for reasons unrelated to the notoriously promiscuous behavior of my subjects, I began my studies. I mastered the language, a melodious tongue that sounds like wild elf and fairy, but share no vocabulary with them. I studied the lore, and found it to be, on the whole, little more than pornography and crude conjecture. I next had to find a nymph. From my centralized location in the Imperial City, I found it easy to send word to several well-known temples and guilds devoted to study in all provinces. Not all replies back were serious in nature, but one, from the school of Julianos and Sentinel, helped me considerably. To Magister Oitos and his disciples, I here offer my sincere gratitude. Nymphs are extremely shy creatures, no matter what more obscene stories will tell you. No one who I've spoken with has had one seek him or her out, thus to speak with a nymph requires energy and patience. Out of courtesy for her privacy, I will not here give the location of the little grotto off the coast of Hammerfell where I found the nymph. It took 3 months of patient waiting, leaving presents where I knew the nymph would be before the nymph stood still at my approach. I remember she was carrying a bouquet of purple and white tetias. She looked at them and then at me and smiled. The effect of her smile was truly magical, I'm convinced. Her body was, of course, perfect, her face lovely and serene, her hair like silk flame. But until she smiled, she was beautiful in the abstract, a perfect statue by a master. The smile made her approachable, and thus terrifying. "For you," I said, attempting my first utterance of nymph to a real nymph. Her smile grew into a grin, which became a giggle and then a laugh. The reader has doubtless heard of the silver laughter of the elves. The nymph's laugh is earthy and spontaneous, and very suggestive. "And what would you want from me in return, mortal?" she asked. "I am... there is no, I should say, well-known word in the nymph language for scholar. A man who likes to learn things, and I want to learn things about you." And I did. Nymphs are the wisest, most wonderful creatures in Tamriel. My nymph, her name is Ilea, a poor phonetic transcription of a word that sounds more like a light wind blowing through a small crack in a hollow chamber. And she knows more about the behavior and varieties of the deep woodland creatures than the greatest wood elf scholar I have ever met. She taught me of flowers and ghosts and creatures too fast and timid to have ever been seen by a man. Ayala taught me how to learn for the very first time, how to open my mind to all the possibilities of life, and how to use that knowledge, not just to hold my cramped brain, how to use that knowledge, not just hold it in my cramped brain like a dragon's hoard. If you ever meet a nymph, speak to her. Editor's note, the writer Von Demberis is no longer a scholar at the Imperial University. He deposited this manuscript and disappeared from the civilized world. His current whereabouts is unknown.
Alright. We'll wait a couple minutes. No point in waiting an hour.
Once again you astonish me with your skill and efficiency, Caius. An excellent job. The king will be as pleased as I am. Here is the katana I promised. Enjoy it.
Before I forget, I'm gonna get the training and the identification out of the way. this was just steel, this would be a really good weapon. We have read this one. I'm just trying to see if I can find anything about summoning Daedra. Or alternatively, if I can find anything about the Ogmad Finium. Oh, this would be an interesting one. Same place we have the last few times in the Mages Guild of Mercister. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you next week.